If you're dropping commission, you are training the market to undervalue you. Everywhere I look, man, agents are dropping commission. They're even giving cash back on buyer deals. Jeez, what? You need to watch this channel if you're doing that. But what you're actually doing is you're training the market not to pay you. And you are not working on the skill set to get more money, because there is people that are getting that. And in this video, I'm going to show you how. So let's get right to it. The pressure is real, I get it, especially when the market is down. We want to be able to sell someone something. Bills are stacking up. So you're like, why don't I just go undercut commission? Look, I'm not saying that you never do it. I understand how important a for sale sign is in front of somebody's yard. It is actually your best marketing piece. Your best marketing piece is not radio, it's not a billboard, it's not TV, it's your for sale sign. So I get it. My issue isn't low commissions. Maybe it's not. However, the bigger issue is not trying to get higher commission, because there's agents out there that don't value themselves. They're not confident, and they just drop their pants right at the listing appointment and be like, give me whatever. There is agents in my marketplace. If you like horror movies, keep listening. There are agents in my marketplace that are selling houses for free so long as the prospect who is turning into a seller client will agree to buy a house from them. What are we doing to the marketplace? It is our job to value commissions, not just for ourselves, but the entire real estate industry. If you're in sales, you're doing me an injustice. Not only are you doing me injustice, you're doing the entire realtor world an injustice by not keeping the commissions high. It is absolutely crazy how agents in my marketplace are saying, hey, I'll list your house for free. Just buy a house through me. What? In a way, I'm glad the market kind of went down, because agents like that don't last. So we needed a reset. We needed to get rid of those agents, because back in the days, man, I've been in the business for 2 decades. Yeah. I didn't even have a beard. I was the babyface assassin when I first came in, no beard, babyface. Now I got that, that Idris look. I got the Idris look. Anyway, look, I'm going off on a tangent, but listen, you want to keep your commissions high, and this is how you're going to do it. Okay, well, the first point I want to really dive down on is anchoring high, right? Having that motivation and game plan of at least asking for a higher commission. And in order to do that, you obviously have to work on your skill set. You obviously have to know your worth. You got to work on your game. There are people that play pro basketball that are getting paid next to nothing, let's say somewhere in the G League. And then there's players in pro basketball that are making $300 million contracts. There are people in a gym that are very, very fit. Call it a small percentage, let's say 10%. And 90% of the people you see at the gym every single day, but they're not changing their body. But the commonality of all those people is they have a gym membership. Just because you have a gym membership, just because you can dribble a basketball, doesn't make you elite. Now, the first step on getting elite is wanting to be elite. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, let me explain. The want to be elite is very important, because there's agents out there that just made a whole game plan of discounting commission. And when you get those referrals, guess what they're telling their referral source? Hey, if you want a cheap agent, that's all right. Use Frank. Frank sold my house for 0.5%. 0.5%. And he's giving me a cashback. Make sure you ask him for the cashback. Is that the type of business you want? Is that the type of business you want? You're setting yourself up for failure, and you're setting me up for failure. Because now I got to fight all of you guys. Because if we were all upping value, there would be no fight. When I go to the listing presentation, they're like, hey, Frank from XYZ Real Estate said he's going to sell my house for 0.5%. Cool. I don't get into that game. I anchor high. And I'll say something like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I totally get that. Let's say in this case, your commission is $20,000, for example. That's what you're fighting for. I totally get that, but let's make sense of this, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. We're talking about $20,000 right now. And the game is to make sure that we get you to net more than that. This is an investment into me, into the marketing that I showed you, into the results that I showed you in the past. And if you think that we can get higher than that, then it's a good investment. And that agent that's giving you 0.5% list, cool. Do you think he's capable of getting you? Is that a good investment? Would you invest in a poor product? Because that's what you're doing right now, Mr. and Miss Seller. And I'm going to go old school. For you old school agents, you know this line. If that agent is not good enough, Mr. and Miss Seller, to negotiate the best deal for them and how they put food on the table for their family, how is that person going to negotiate the best deal for you? Put that one in your bank. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this will never happen to you. But let's say you needed a lawyer and your life depended on it. Would you hire the cheapest lawyer? Or would you invest in the one that will get you off? Even better, what if you had to do, knock on wood, surgery? What if somebody you knew had to do surgery, life-saving surgery? Would you hire the surgeon that hasn't done any surgeries before and they're just the cheapest? Or would you hire the surgeon that has done this multiple of times, has amazing reviews, but they're more expensive? So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, this is a life-altering decision, because sitting with you, I've learned that this is your biggest asset. And if you want to get financially free, we got to make sure that you really hit a home run with this asset. Boom! Let's go. That's how you handle that. Top of the dome, all right? So you want to anchor high, and you want to just show to them, hey, your role is to facilitate how they can make more money with you. You just change the whole subject. It's not about commission cutting. It's about netting them more, right? And if you leave me a comment about a net sheet, I can get that off to you, because I have a net sheet that I go through. The second thing is we want to frame the outcome. Show them what they risk by choosing cheap. Okay? Double down on that. I kind of already went into that. You want to anchor high, and you want to frame the outcome. And before I was kind of like displacing the competition, but you also want to frame the outcome of what happens if your house doesn't sell for the price that you want because you chose a cheaper agent. What happens then? What happens if your property becomes stale? What happens when this agent needs to negotiate? Because you said, Mr. and Miss Seller, you're also buying a property. How is this agent going to get you the deals that are off market, which I can do? More importantly, how can they negotiate the best deal from when you buy? So you think you're saving money, but you're not. You're not saving money. You're actually making a bad investment. But it's up to you. All right. Then you want to kind of close with authority. You want to ensure that you are confident and competent and you have authority. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you're not hiring me to be cheap. You're hiring me to be right, and you're hiring me to be great. So, is low commission the most important thing to you? Or is getting the most for your house, being aligned with a professional that is not only going to make you money on this transaction, but is going to handle your whole real estate portfolio and give you expert advice on how to get financially free over years in real estate? And then you be quiet. Let them choose. And if you do this right, and you watch this channel, if you do, hit that subscribe button. Free role play off the top of my dome because I've done this so many times. So give me a like if you like. Let me know. I'll do more, right? But the point is this. When you go for the close, you want to show that, and then you be quiet and you let them choose. Now, if they're going to say one or two things, they're going to say, Rick, I get it. I see your value. I want to partner with somebody that's valuable. Okay, sign here. Or they'll say, hey, you know what? This is the position that we're in right now, and that other agent wasn't bad. Okay, so let's say you handle that part, because the first one is easy. You just get the contract signed. You win. The second one's a little bit more difficult because they still double down on the other agent. Just say, okay, what is it going to take to get your house sold today? I'm not going to do it for 0.5%. On the listing side, I take 2.5%. But I value you. What's it going to take to get your house sold today? Because I want you to be in good hands. Let me pause there, right? So briefly in this short video, what I'm trying to show you is you always fight for value and higher commission. You do not go for a game plan of undercutting and that's your whole professional scheme. But you also don't let go of the listing. Because like I said in the beginning of this video, your for sale sign is your best source of advertising. So you want to make sure that you're getting that for sale sign out there. Also, if you follow this channel, I tell you, if you want to get deals on autopilot, you got to make that sphere bigger. And the best thing about your sphere is you have past clients in there that's going to give you referrals. So this could be an awesome referral source in the future. So you want to get that deal done. So can you give a little bit of a discount? Sure, to get that signed today. And you can say things like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, look, let's go for the 2.5% on the listing side. And if we don't hit our targets, if we don't hit our goals, let's talk about it. If I'm not netting you what I said, if I'm not true to my word, let me put my money where my mouth is. And if you're not getting what I think you can net, then we'll talk about it and we can discuss some commission at that point because I was wrong. How's that sound? They'll usually take that deal. All right. So if they're really saying, hey, man, no, I want you to discount it right now, I leave that up to you. But I'll tell you, you'll get way more than that 0.5. You might get 1.5 instead of 2.5. Will you take that listing? I would. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you on the next one.